Hello everyone! Today we are going to demonstrate a range of motion exercise. Range of motion exercise are designed to move the joint and soft tissue through available physiologic range of motion. Each motion can be repeated 5 to 10 times. And before we proceed, we're going to make sure that we remove all the jewelries because jewelries can harbor dirt and microorganisms. Aside from that, it can hurt our patients. So make sure to remove all of the jewelries. And perform medical hand washing and wear complete proper PPE. Hairnet, face mask, and gloves. And now, we're going to introduce ourselves to the client. Hi sir, good morning. I am Amber Sanchez. I'm your aide for today. I'm here to help you with your range of motion exercise. Is that okay with you, sir? Okay, alright. The first thing I'm going to do is to make sure that I brace your bed up to a good working level. And put the head of the bed flat. I've washed my hands already before I came into your room. And now we're going to start with your shoulder exercise. Now, I'm going to start with flexion, extension of the upper arm. Flexion, extension. Now, I would roll your arm into your side so I could do hyperextension of the shoulder. Now, I'm going to abduction, adduction, abduction, adduction. Next, we'll do rotation of the shoulder. Outward rotation, inward rotation, outward rotation, inward rotation. Always making sure that I have the upper arm at 90-degree angle from the body. Next, I'm going to work on your elbow. Flexion, extension, flexion, extension. We'll also do supination, pronation, supination, pronation. Now, we'll work on your wrist. I'll start with flexion, extension, hyperextension. Flexion, extension, hyperextension. Then, I will turn your hand and I will do radial flexion, ulnar flexion, radial flexion, ulnar flexion, radial flexion, ulnar flexion. Now, I will work your thumb, abduction, adduction, abduction, adduction, flexion, extension, flexion, extension. I will also do opposite to the little finger. Now, I will work your fingers, abduction, adduction, abduction, adduction. I will work each finger individually. Now, I am going to do flexion, extension, flexion, extension, flexion, extension of the fingers. Alright, are you ready to work your leg now? Okay, I am going to expose only one leg and we'll start by working the hip. The first thing I'm going to do is flexion, extension, flexion, extension, abduction, adduction, abduction, adduction, outward rotation, inward rotation, outward rotation, inward rotation. Next, I will work the knee, flexion, extension, flexion, extension, flexion, extension. Next, we move to the ankle, plantar flexion, dorsal flexion, plantar flexion, dorsal flexion, plantar flexion, dorsal flexion. Inward rotation, outward rotation, inward rotation, outward rotation. Next, we're going to work the toes, abduction, adduction, abduction, adduction, working each toe individually. Then we will do flexion, extension of the toes, flexion, extension, flexion, extension. I will then reposition you for comfort. Put the bed back in low position with the head of the bed at 30 degrees. Side rails up if ordered. Call light in reach. Is there anything else I can do for you, sir? Okay, I'll go wash my hands, record and report.